I understand to a point why they did this. It's the description of Renesmee because she grows at an increasing rate. Her eyes had to be really distinct. But they could have found a child for it and they could have done it much better on the CGI.
They could have just CGI'd the eyes, right?
Absolutely.
It would be, you know.
It was really badly done, but I understand.
And it's not like the child did anything that, like, if the child did something crazy, like, I don't know, would turn into the baby from Paranormal Activity or some shit, which used a real baby. Like, maybe you could justify, oh, we used CGI the whole way so it wasn't jarring when we switched. But it literally just kind of lays there, and sometimes it smiles, and sometimes it makes this face, and that's... Yeah. And it, like, rubs its hand on somebody.
Yeah.
You can get a fucking child to do that. Oh, that pissed me off.
Yeah, that was really fun. Well, I thought it was comical. Like
it was comical.
Like it was funny because it's clearly fucking
CG.
Yeah, imagine the actor. Like if I was an actor in like a high production movie like that, and they're like, "Okay, here's a fucking watermelon to hold, pretend it's a kid because we're not hiring a baby."
I love you.
I'd be
so
like,
much.
"Are you fucking kidding me?"
I just want to inject vodka into you and chow down.
I need you, or cut a hole in you and fuck you. That's what I would.
That's what you do with watermelons.
Right. Beggars can't be choosers.
People are weird.
That's true.
And fruit racist.
That's right.
Fruit racist. No, we're all encompassing. We fuck all fruits.
Yeah.
We don't except for pomegranates.
Because it stings.
All right, back to the movie.
Back to the movie before this
gets really weird. All right, I'm gonna bring up a couple of really good points because.
I like how you just, these are good points. These ones are good.
All the other stuff is fucking garbage.
It's time for some good
now
points.
We need the good points.
You mentioned it, soundtrack. The soundtrack was incredible. I love how they brought back Carter Brewell's piano theme in the first movie.
Yeah,
and they made a score around that, which was really pretty at times, especially during the open montage, which was really good.
Yeah, the opening and closing montage, or the opening credit sequence and the ending credit sequence.
Yeah, they were
fucking
really
awesome
good.
in this movie.
Yeah. And you know what? Sorry to you continue.
Finish your point.
Afterwards.
Oh, okay. No, because I'm gonna go away from this. So if you got something to say.
Well, it's just about the ending soundtrack. It also featured at the end of the movie for the credits. They did the whole like person's face and then their name underneath, and they did everyone from the first Twilight to the last.
Yes, they.
I thought that was
great, awesome.
Yeah. That was great. Like I don't know. I thought that was really nice.
This movie did have.
And Ashley Greene's a babe. Go on.
Good points.
Yeah.
It did. Like, as disappointed as I am with it, it's just because I'm looking at this as the end of a chapter, not as an individual movie. But if I look at it as an individual movie, I laughed. I kind of went, oh my gosh, which I'll get onto in a minute. But good point being the soundtrack, and a lot of the cinematography was great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So... let's discuss my favorite part of the movie now, which I've already mentioned, which is the Volturi. So Michael fucking Sheen is amazing because he just hams the shit out. He Nick Cages the shit out of this movie.
He really does. No, he doesn't Nick Cage the shit out of this movie. He Michael Sheen's the shit out of this movie. You can't compare them.
You can't use this reference on its own, though.
No,
anyway,
you can't.
He's awesome because he's just so campy. He realizes what he's in, and he has a ton of fun with it. He's just constantly deliciously evil, and even does this in the movie.
Yeah.
He's like,
He reminds me of a grown-up Stewie from Family Guy.
Yeah, very much. And then you have that counteracted with the fucking the Volturi that's just bored as hell by everything.
Mark is even described in the book as looking bored the entire way through the book.
Which is a great character.
Yeah.
I enjoy him. He's constantly looking around like, this is so goddamn tedious.
Yeah.
No, I don't even want to be here.
Even when he dies, he's just like, well, guess it's time to go. And then they fucking...
Yeah, he's like, oh, fine. No, but in the... Yeah, okay, let's talk about that.
The vision. This is the worst fucking part of the movie.
Can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so...
The greatest to worst.
I was the greatest to worst.
The greatest yet the worst part of the movie.
Oh,
yeah, it was the best. It's very true. It was the best and worst part of this film.
It was really well done. First off, can I name the characters that were killed off in order?
Well, let's explain what happens first.
All right, so they start with the fight scene
between
the Volturi and all the witnesses. They start with Carlisle trying to talk quite diplomatically about it all, and who was it? How did it start? See,
okay. It was so they're talking, trying to convince the Volturi that Renesmee was this like half human, half vampire, not a vampire
right,
child,
yeah.
and they can. Michael Sheen was like, "Oh, let me meet her," and so they met, and then he was convinced, and then he gave this rousing speech about, "But how do we know what a half vampire child and a regular child would be?" I gotta stop doing the Bane voice.
Yeah, you really do. But it's
how do we
really
know? Yeah, how do we know? And so anyway, basically.
And then Alice walks back.
Alice walks out, and she's like, she's the one who can, like, has the visions of the future, and Arrow can read people's minds, so he reads the future from her. It makes sense.
Kind of.
Yeah, totally. So anyway, he reads her mind, and we assume he sees that she poses no threat to vampiredom, it's all fine, and then she goes, "Oh, it doesn't matter, you're just going to attack us. Kill us
You're just
anyway.
gonna do it anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
And then
slightly better
Carlisle.
than that.
Yeah.
Carlisle comes running up from behind, does this massive leap, and
Well, no.
starts,
Oh,
doesn't it?
no. The way that it works was she's like, "You're just gonna do this anyway," and then she looks at Kristen Stewart. She's
Oh,
like,
yes, that's right.
or now,
Yeah.
or something like that, because their plan was to get the daughter for safety. So she was on the back of Jacob, and he would
Which is the
run
reason
away.
for your favorite scene.
Why?
The lawyer.
The lawyer.
Your favorite scene with the passports. And
Oh, that's the reason?
Yeah,
'cause
he
the
gives
lawyer
her
gave
the
him
passport.
passports
It's about
to
you
run away.
turned out that bad.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. Oh, fuck.
Anyway.
Yeah, no, I didn't hear that entire conversation they had. But so then the Taylor Lautner is off with the daughter on his back, and then Alice kicks.
She fucking like
She like backspin fucking boots him in the face. The Volturi
Michael Sheen Arrow. Yeah.
Arrow. Yeah. She like boots him in the face, and he flies up or whatever. And then the guys grab her, and they're like holding her and stuff like that. And
as they hold her, that is when Carlisle runs.
And
Like,
he's like, "That's my daughter!" No, it doesn't happen.
And then Arrow leaps up. They meet midair. Carlisle comes down, and Arrow lands, and
he's just got his big grin.
holding Carlisle's head. I'm
Yeah.
sitting there, and I'm like, "Get the fuck out! You just killed off Carlisle."
I was so
the
impressed at that point in the movie.
I was
just
like, I did not fucking expect that.
Holy shit! Because I'd heard, I didn't read the books, but I'd heard that it ends peacefully.
It's all
Like
talking.
Yeah.
they talk
Like,
to them and then they leave.
added
You
this
know.
fight scene in, and I think it was probably the best thing they could have done. Otherwise, it just would have been talking the entire movie. Talking close-ups, and maybe a couple more montages.
Yeah, exactly.
Without this fight,
No,
oh.
and the fight scene was fucking retarded. Like, it was after Carlisle died, like
Shit hit the
shit was
fan.
going down. Like, no matter
Yeah.
what.
Yeah.
And it was this big, like, old school, like, fucking armies,
Free-for-all.
like, free for all,
Yeah.
going at each other. The fucking werewolves were in there and everything, and
And it was fucking awesome because every time they have like big battles in movies, it's always all the bad guys end up dying and somehow all the good guys survive. Or like all the good
Yeah.
guys survive but one. They fucking
They
died.
killed
yeah,
all-
good
They
guys
killed-
were dying all over the fucking place.
Jasper got his fucking head ripped off and died.
Seth
Yeah.
and Leah.
Seth
got
and Leah,
killed.
yeah, one of them fell into like a fucking
That was
abyss.
Fire.
Seth was the one that saved him.
Yeah.
Saving the mom.
Yeah.
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 And
And the Volturi fucking eat it.
yeah, man.
Dakota Fanning.
Dakota Fanning.
Oh, that was
fucking
awesome.
owned.
That was so awesome.
She has her head ripped the fuck off by a puppy.
Yeah.
Puppy.